This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Allison Keyes. Vice President Kamala Harris is urging her Republican presidential rival, Donald Trump, to accept an invitation for CNN for them to debate a second time next month. He said on social media last week that he would not participate in another debate before the election. Trump is stumping in North Carolina, a battleground state coveted by both parties. CBS's Natalie Brandt with the latest campaign news.
As the vice president campaigned in battleground Georgia, the state's election board voted 3-2 to require poll workers to conduct a hand count of all ballots on election night, alongside the usual ballot scanning method.
A big ruling affecting tens of thousands of Arizona voters. CBS's Stephen Kaufman.
The Arizona Supreme Court has ruled that an error in state-run databases will not prevent nearly 98,000 Arizona voters from casting ballots in November for state and local races. The error had declassified voters who haven't submitted citizenship documents. Arizona requires voters to prove their citizenship in order to vote in state and local contests.
President Biden is hosting an Indo-Pacific summit at his Delaware home, and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says there's an ambitious agenda.
We'll announce the pre-positioning of relief supplies across the region and the ability for Quad countries to react more rapidly in the case of humanitarian crises and natural disasters.
Big changes for teens after Meta launches new Instagram accounts for them. CBS's Jared Hill explains.
The platform will move all users under 16 years old to the new service, which offers a more limited experience for teenagers. Changes to the new account restrictions require caregivers' permission. User profiles are automatically private and can only be viewed if a request is accepted.
Medical research finds a possible benefit for a certain kind of mushroom. CBS's Michael George.
A new study says psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, could help millions of people with depression. Research published in Psychedelics found that if the FDA approves the treatment, more than half of Americans currently being treated for depression could qualify for psilocybin therapy. But researchers say we're still learning about the best ways to use the treatment.
Now to Germany. The world's largest folk festival, Oktoberfest, is underway now after a ceremonial keg tapping. It is the 189th year in Munich, where the celebration runs through October 6th in 18 large tents at the fairground. Biggest in the U.S. is Oktoberfest Cincinnati, more than 800,000 last year. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The link between gun ownership and suicide.
The Violence Policy Center looked at data from 2022 and found firearms continue to play a major role in suicide. The national average of gun suicides per 100,000 people was 14, but in Montana, Alaska, and Wyoming, that number was almost double. Texas was at, while California was below the national average. Executive Director Josh Sugarman.
The overall suicide rate is driven by the gun suicide rate, and it's the availability of firearms that leads to the higher rate of completion for suicide attempts.
Brad Gibson for CBS News.
I felt I needed to do something, not just for myself, but
Superman,
for everyone else in the same
the Christopher
condition.
Reeve story hits theaters across the nation today. The documentary tells the tale of his rise to fame through the films that set the benchmark for the Clark Kent Superman character, but also of the tragic 1995 horse riding accident that left him paralyzed and dependent on a ventilator to breathe. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Buying a home.
Broadcasting live from the glorious Tyler Media Studio D in Oklahoma City, it's McRoof Talks Insurance on KOKC. I'm Rick Allen Lippert, here with restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCollum.
Hey, good afternoon, Rick.
Also here is HAAG-certified roofing inspector Scotty McCollum.
Hello, Rick.
Howdy. Running man Eric Yandel is the wizard on the other side of the glass.
Great to be back with you guys for another fun week.
He will answer your calls to 405-478-1520.
And it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and I know it doesn't sound like he means it, but he really does. We're live streaming the show on the McRoof Talks Insurance YouTube channel, and we're all waving to you right now. You can also hear us anywhere in the U.S. of A. on iHeartRadio. Just search for KOKC. Act 1 of today's show will start as usual with our trivia question and other interesting tidbits, including the word of the week. That number again to answer the trivia question or to just ask a question, 405-478-1520. In Act 2, we'll have a guest today with the Oklahoma Roofing Contractors Association Executive Director Avery Smith will be calling in. We'll also hear Scotty's view from the rooftop. This week, Scotty tells the tale of one unfortunate, bless his heart, adjuster and inspector in an episode titled No Brainer. Coming back from breaks, we'll have some genuinely obscure historical trivia. You won't believe how obscure today's trivia is. Then in Act 3, we'll take even more of your calls, plus we'll have a very informative After the Storm tip brought to you by RoofRx, so be ready to take notes.
Sounds exciting to me.
And we'll wrap up with Dad's Wisdom brought to you by Energy Q. I got to tell you, the lawyer threw a rock through my window this morning with a message attached to it to remind me to tell you that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.US, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 8000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing.
Was there a check tied to that rock?
No, just a note with a rubber band around a big rock.
Oh, man.
He's getting more and more destructive.
He really is.
Flaming arrow
last week.
Yes,
you probably had to touch up the door after that one.
I'm going to have to get a restoration specialist.
There you go. I think I know one.
All right, so let's get started with the trivia question.
Okay, here you go. Which of the following does a qualified inspector utilize to verify hail damage on an asphalt roof? And this could be either shingles or a commercial flat roof.
Okay.
So visual inspection, touch and feel, inspect the mat or the bottom side of that surface. I don't know. All of the above?
Or all of the above.
Or E. None of the above.
None of the above. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Scotty looked at me like, Dad, I don't do any of that stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. So maybe it is E. I don't know.
Maybe our intrepid ballistics heart inspector in the no-brainer story.
Maybe he and Scotty have something in common.
Yeah. All right. So which of the following does a qualified inspector, this is a roofing inspector, use to verify hail damage on an asphalt roof, either shingle or commercial flat roof? Visual inspection, touch and feel, inspecting the mat or bottom, or all of the above. If you think you know, give us a call at 405-478-1520.
Now, why would they do that?
Well, to win 2 free tickets to Carpenter Square Theater. Any show this season. We're in the second of 3 weeks. Right now, the 3-week run of Making Sweet Tea and Other Secrets. It's a thought-provoking, poignant play that's also very funny. And we never do learn the secret of making sweet. Oh, I was just spoiler alert.
You began.
You might have just cut out some of your audience. Come on.
Or you might have just intrigued.
Yeah, he may have.
Exactly.
He may have.
I mean, they start to talk about it anyway. 405-478-1520, and the ticket voucher is good for any show this season. And I just finished reading Dial M for Murder. It was originally a play before Alfred Hitchcock made it into the great movie that it is. And so this is an updated version, and it's a really, really good, tight play.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'll be doing sound design for that one as
I remember
well.
going over to my aunt's house when I was a wee boy, and she had all the Alfred Hitchcock radio broadcasts recorded in a way that, and just to listen to those and sit there on the sofa, and she'd be there close to me, making sure that I wasn't too scared. And then when it's time for me to walk the 4 or 5 blocks home, now, are you okay?
Oh man, I tell you, radio has a way of scaring people like nobody's business. Wow, we have the phone lines are lighting up. Here we're yucking it up, and Eric is all hands on deck. Let's see if we can get to Randall. Randall, are you there? Hang on, Randall. Are you there?
Alrighty.
There you are.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so I'm going to ask you the trivia question so anyone who just tuned in can hear it as well. Which of the following does a qualified inspector utilize to verify hail damage on an asphalt roof? Visual inspection, touch and feel, inspecting the mat and bottom, or all of the above?
All the above.
Ding, 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 ding. Boy, that didn't take too long. So Randall, are you a qualified roof inspector?
Actually, I'm a certified welding inspector.
Oh, okay. There we go.
So I do structural steel and welding, but it's common sense. You do more than just look at it. You got to checks and balances, and so there's more than just the visual top. You also got foundation, base, and all that.
Absolutely.
Well, for us there is, Randall, but maybe not for everybody.
I actually called for a question.
Okay, great.
Okay, the question is this. Okay, I had a tree cut down between my house and the next because it was a 100-foot pecan tree.
Okay.
Right? It's dropping limbs all the time, so I got rid of it. All right, now you got these gypsy roofers, or I like to call them gypsies.
We know what chucking a trucks. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. We all got our own little thing. Well, I succumbed to to letting them look. And they got up on my house, and they got their chalk out, and it looked like a kid's drawing all over it. Okay, well, I'm not a roofer guy, but I suspected they were overkill. So I called my insurance company, my agent, and I asked them to verify. That's all it was a verify. These roofers made a claim against my house. It was a $0 claim. But now, no insurance company will touch me because I supposedly had a claim. And I called the insurance company, my agent, and he said he would get with, it's Allstate. And
okay.
So basically, do I have any recourse to fight this?
Well, there's a lot of bits and pieces to this thing. So, number one,
I never signed anything. I never authorized, and I never ever thought they were going to do a claim.
Okay,
right.
so how did they get the information? How did they get your policy number and all of that kind of stuff to be able to file a claim?
I've got no idea. Absolutely no idea. And the way I found out about it was I was shopping, and State Farm said they wouldn't touch me because I had a recent claim. So I called Allstate, and sure enough, the roofing company made a claim against my home.
Well, a roofing company can't make a claim. They presented themselves as being you. You're the only one who can make a claim on your property. Okay.
Exactly.
So at the very least, they fraudulently filed this claim, representing themselves as being you or having some right to file that claim. Okay, and without anything signed by you, then they had there's no way that they could have had any right to have done that. I think there is recourse for you. I mean, obviously, recourse against the roofing company probably isn't going to get you anywhere. All you really want to do is get that claim expunged from your record, correct?
Yes, sir. That is exactly. I mean, look, once it's in digital, once it's out there, it's out there.
Yeah, I can tell you that I have gotten claims. I have led people down the path to get claims completely removed from their record. Okay, even in the case where a check had already been written by an insurance company, we were able to accomplish that. So let me just give you, let me do this. I'm going to give you my cell phone number and my email address. You get in touch with me on Monday or email me over the weekend, and I will walk you down the path of what I think that you need to do to get this taken care of. Okay? So my phone number, my cell phone number, and you can text me 405-600 5587.
5587.
And my email is Scott with 2 T's at
COTT
at McRoof MCROOF as in Frank .US like Uncle Sam. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay.
And you get in touch with me, and I will advise you down a path that I think would get you where you want to get. Okay.
All righty. Now, Allstate did send. They always send somebody. They always send their own independent guy to come in and check.
So they sent an inspector out.
Yes, sir, and he confirmed what I thought.
That there was no damage.
That there was no damage. If you've got storm damage, you're going to have dinged metal. Your flashing, your drip edge, stuff like that's going to have things in it.
There's going to be collateral damage that is evident even to you as a layperson.
Primarily, what I was interested in was tree damage.
Yeah.
Post. That's what I was looking at.
Yep.
And they didn't find it, so there was none. So that was mine. But it was a look-see, which I never signed anything, never anything. But I will call you. I'm sure you're on a show right now, so you need to take care of that.
Okay. Well, that's great. Hey, you stay on the line. You stay. It really is, Randall. It is a very good call. I'll be happy to try to help you through it as best I can, and I know who to refer you to if we get to an impasse. Okay. Stay on the line with Eric so he can get your information for your tickets to the play. Okay.
All righty. Hey, I sure appreciate it, brother.
We appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good weekend, Randall. Great call.
Yeah, great call.
Yeah.
Thank you, Randall. Word of the week.
Oh, word of the week. Okay, the word of the week this week is unappropriated.
Now, what the heck does that mean?
Unappropriated,
I was wondering the same thing.
As in not set apart for or assigned to a particular purpose. Not appropriated, as in funds, cash reserves.
Okay.
The reason that I brought this into play as our word of the week is because we may get into a little conversation about what some people perceive as an insurance crisis, and the reason that some people who have oversight cannot do very much about it. Okay? So, unappropriated. We have two agencies in the state, the Construction Industries Board and Oklahoma Insurance Department. Mm-hmm. They are unappropriated agencies. Okay? And that is just a little piece of what's going on behind the scenes in terms of staffing, funding, ability to level the playing field or to take some actions that they may need to take. So anyway, that's why I brought that up. Unappropriated. The focus of the annual spring budget workshop session tends to be on any extra cash, unappropriated new revenue, or money left over from prior years, because everybody wants to claim their part of it. That's unappropriated. Okay, that's what it is. All right.
Wow, learn something new every day.
Teach an old dog new tricks.
Golly. So what has your week been like?
Oh, wow. We really had a great week, Scotty.
Well, a couple adjuster appointments that went well, a couple that went well but did not get fully approved, so that's more work for us to do on the back end.
But
That's okay. We're the right people for the job.
Good.
A couple old denials that have finally been overturned.
Oh, nice.
For Johnny and Kelvin.
Yep.
And then a couple new jobs on the books.
Okay.
Yep. It was a very good week
Very
in a
balanced.
lot
Very
of different
balanced
ways.
Okay.
Yep. So.
Well, let's take our first break. We'll be back with Act 2 of today's show. We have Avery Smith waiting on the line. He is the executive director of the Oklahoma Roofing Contractors Association. We'll be talking to him in Act 2. After this break, we'll be back. You're listening to McRoof Talks Insurance on KOKC, AM 1520, FM 95.3.
This is the home of talk radio's new generation, KOKC.
I'm Scott McCollum, and I am McRoof. Don't let that big out-of-pocket expense on your roof claim stand between you and the new roof that you want and need. I'll finance your deductible, non-recoverable depreciation, or your upgrades over 12 to 24 months. No third-party financing, no hassle, in-house financing by McRoof. Call Carly today at 855-766-3405 for details. McRoof.us, where every replacement is a replacement done right.
Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army and was stationed at Fort Bliss, Texas. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy was the pilot of a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy. November 11, 1943, Homer and his crew, along with 31 other bombers, flew a mission to destroy a ball bearing plant in occupied France. On the return trip, a mechanical failure caused the plane to drop out of formation, leaving the Yankee Doodle Dandy vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109 shot the plane down near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board. The others parachuted. 1 was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 21 years of service with numerous awards and citations, not to mention the Purple Heart. Homer Stacy. Homer Stacy McCollum. Scott McCollum's dad. Scott McCollum is McRoof. McRoof is owned and operated by the McCollum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to improve or repair your property, call 855-766-3405. Ask for a no-cost roof assessment and home inspection. That's McRoof, 855-766-3405. That's McRoof.
If you don't have an advisor when it comes to your residential, commercial, or metal roof, you might not have met one of McRoof's solution specialists. Our team is dedicated to thoroughly evaluating your needs and to developing effective and lasting solutions focused not only on financial cost, but also long-term goals for your home or building. Providing accurate in-person inspections, personal guidance with insurance, roofing, and design factors, and follow-up throughout the repair process, we seek to be your last stop for professional roofing and insurance restoration. McRoof is founded on quality, integrity, and lasting value. If these things appeal to you, give us a call today at 855-766-3405. McRoof.us, every replacement done right.
Talk radio's new generation, KOKC.
McRoof Talks Insurance back on the air for Act 2 of today's show. On this date in 1780, Benedict Arnold. Remember him?
Boy.
Yeah, on this date. This is the date. This is the date that Benedict Arnold gave a British major plans to West Point, thereby being a traitor to our country.
Wow.
On this date in 1897, seems a little early in the year, but this was the day in 1897 that the New York Sun newspaper ran the famous "Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus" editorial.
Wow.
One would think it would that be in December, but here it is in December. And then on this date in 1957, Perry Mason, starring Raymond Burr, debuted on CBS. The character was based on, the series was based on a character written by Earl Stanley Gardner. And every episode was titled "The Case of."
It's still on. I'm still watching them.
I catch it every now and again myself.
Gunsmoke and Perry Mason.
That's so much fun. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, enough fun. We have Avery Smith on the line. Avery is the executive director of the Oklahoma Roofing Contractors Association. Welcome to the show, Avery.
Maybe he's not here.
Do we have Avery?
Hello, Avery.
Eric confirms we
go.
Now we got him. So, how you doing, young man?
You know what? I'm doing great on this beautiful, hot college football Saturday. We got 2 great games going on in the state of Oklahoma, and I'm on with two great folks here on the radio. So I'm excited to be on with you guys. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it very much.
Although I really didn't like the lead in with Benedict Arnold. That kind of
Well, Rick is he's an obscure trivia aficionado.
Yeah, he
Avery,
really is.
If you stick around, you'll find that out yourself.
So, Avery, I thought it'd be great for folks to get to know you a little bit. So, take a minute and just tell us about Avery and your background, where you're coming from, and what you're trying to do.
Well, thanks for that. I've got a pretty diverse background. I'm a native Oklahoman. I was born in Ada, lived there as a young kid, and my parents moved around a little bit, so I lived between Oklahoma, Florida, and Arizona. And I came back to Oklahoma in the early 2000s with my wife and 3 kids. I've been in the oil and gas business really from 2009 to just before I came on board here with Orca. But 10 of those years in the oil and gas business was representing a trade association, the Petroleum Alliance of Oklahoma, now formerly known as the Oklahoma Independent Petroleum Association. So it really it kind of ignited my passion for representing business on legislative and regulatory issues. There's never a shortage, and just when you think that you've gotten everything licked and taken care of, there's something new that pops up that you got to go fight and stand up to. And there'll never be a shortage of issues. If there's anything I've learned, there will never be a shortage of issues.
Absolutely. So Orca is a trade organization for the roofing industry in Oklahoma, but I think that you've got some ideas about how you can make the organization of much more value to our consumers as well.
No, that is exactly right. And, having that background and kind of seeing how things work and how things don't work, it's kind of the philosophy that I'm bringing to this organization. And really the most successful organizations that I've been a part of in terms of trade associations are the ones that are driven by the members. You can have a great staff, a competent staff, and it's certainly important on a day-to-day business front. But if you don't have your members involved and engaged and as part of the everyday conversation, you're not going to be as strong as you could. And we have a great member base here at Orca. Everybody has been so supportive. I think they were hungry and starved to kind of take things to a new level, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to develop programming and events and a legislative strategy that I don't know if we've ever had it before, but we have it now, and kind of an idea of what we want to do, what our priorities are. We've got a fantastic contract political strategist that we're working with to kind of help us navigate the legislature and all that goes along with trying to introduce legislation and bills. And it's a great learning experience for everybody here at the organization. It's almost in some ways like we're starting a new organization. We're working on starting a PAC that's going to be very helpful in our efforts. And so we've got a number of missions that we've embarked upon. Education is very important, both from a industry education standpoint, our members, our contractors, our associate members, but also the public, homeowners, business owners, consumers. That's equally as important because we want our customers and our residents here in Oklahoma to have full faith and trust in our industry and our people. And if we fall short, we want to be able to stand up and try to help those folks too.
Well, that's why we're here every Saturday, right, Rick? We're trying to
that's right.
Trying to make sure that the consumers have accurate, timely, valid information that they can use to take care of themselves. There are a whole lot of issues that face consumers that touch on the roofing industry. Obviously, we live in the Hell Belt and Tornado Alley. Roofing is a huge part of the restoration work that goes on every single year in this state. And I think that we need to focus on some things that will drive real, tangible value and results for the citizens of Oklahoma. And I think you've got some things like that in mind with some of your initiatives.
Well, we definitely do, and I'm fortunate because we have our executive committee, current executive committee, and the board just decided and made a commitment to elevate this organization. And they needed someone that was going to be able to step in from day one and kind of help develop and shape and form that strategy. Am I a roofer? No, but I'm a strategist, and the mechanics of this industry are not all that different from the mechanics of the industry I came from. Mm-hmm. And it's people, it's relationships, it's hard work, it's attention to detail, and it's value. And that's my number one thing here, is to provide value to anybody who's a part of this organization. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm not doing my job. And Scott, it's been great to kind of get to know you over the past few weeks especially. We've had some really good conversations on some really hot-button topics. And this is a time of change and a little bit of upheaval in our industry. And it's, yes, it's a lot of work, but it's also kind of exciting because we get to be a part of all that, of shaping the future for this industry and for the state.
So what do you, one of the things that you and I have touched on a little bit is, we all understand that we operate in a state that does not have licensing in the roofing industry. We're in a state that requires registration in the roofing industry that falls short of an actual licensing process. Is that something that the association is behind? Is that something that the membership is behind? Where do we stand as an organization on that particular issue? Because I know that's something that's going to require a lot of legislative work. It's going to require a lot of work on Construction Industries Board's part in terms of administration and enforcement and all those kinds of things. Where are we on licensing?
Well, Scott, you have mentioned a kind of a mantra of building better, and that is a key point of what we're trying to do here. And what is going to be our number one focus? What is going to be our number one thing we have in mind when we embark on any effort that we do? We're going to ask one question: is it good for Oklahoma? And if it's good for Oklahoma, then we're going to proceed and we're going to advance. And you mentioned it. I mean, it's just coming into this industry and understanding that in the residential roofing trade, there is no licensing required.
Wild West.
It's the Wild West, and anybody, any Tom, Dick, or Harry can get on a website and apply for a registration number, go get themselves some insurance, and tomorrow they're a roofer, and no other. And
tomorrow their insurance is canceled because they didn't pay the premium.
Exactly right.
That is right.
And there's really no recourse right now, and some of the things that have been built in, there's really not, there's just no safeguards built in. And it's something we think that if we can fix that, everybody wins, not just the industry, but consumers win. And we want to win. And that's one that we think is a no-brainer for our industry. So that's where there's a lot of detail to it. Like you mentioned, there's a ton of detail that we've got to work through. There's some questions that our members have asked, but by and large, in my 6 months here in this position, by and large, I've had everybody on board to fix that issue because they don't want to be known as we say, chuck in a truck. That's not what our industry is, and that's not what we want to be known as. So we're going to fix it.
I think that you nailed, you hit the nail on the head when you said the question that you ask, is this good for Oklahoma? And that doesn't carve out turf, territory, individual interest, industry interest, consumer interest, insurance company interest. It is collectively, from a macro view, the initiatives and the efforts that the organization makes need to come from that standpoint of, is it good for the whole of Oklahoma? And I just tell you that for years and years and years, I've seen a number of efforts from a legislative standpoint on behalf of the roofing industry, on behalf of the insurance industry, on behalf of a lot of industries, that when you boil them all down are very self-serving of that particular industry. And I think that we're dealing with an availability and affordability crisis in insurance that needs to be addressed, and none of those kinds of territorial, carving out territory or legislation that protects one party's interests over another, that's not going to solve the problem. That's going to perpetuate the problem. And so I think you're headed in the right direction. I think you'll have no problems in rebuilding the PAC and in getting your community of members on board with that, as long as that's the focus of all the legislation and where you're going with it. So.
Well, and if you're a roofer in Oklahoma and you're doing business in Oklahoma and you're doing it the right way, you're treating people the right way, we want you as a member of ORCA. It's important that we grow this membership base. It takes resources to do the things that we're trying to do, and we do it on behalf of our members so they don't have to do it. I mean, imagine trying to go out and form your own legislative branch of your company. Imagine the expense that you would incur to do that.
Yeah.
It's just not feasible, right?
Right.
And so that's what we do on your behalf. We serve our members in that regard. And sure, we do all the great things. We have all the great events and those type of things. But at the end of the day, we exist to get things done, to make our lives better as Oklahomans, to improve the businesses of our members, and to give them value in every way. And we want to continue that growth pattern. There are a lot of roofers here in Oklahoma who have not joined yet, maybe don't even know about us. And I am available 24/7 to talk to you about that. I give out my cell phone number all the time. If you want to call and talk about what we're doing, ask me questions. I love it. Just bring it on.
Well, there are a lot of great roofers who are not members of the organization, and just so you know, I spent a good part of my morning this morning reaching out to some of those. So hopefully we will see some gains from that. Where's the association on the whole fortified, or we talked about let's build better. Where's the association stand in terms of the fortified program that Commissioner Mulready and the legislation that Mr. Tedford has rolled out?
We haven't shaped a formal stance of an organization, but I can tell you that there's a heavy interest in it from our people. We've got a gentleman by the name of Mark Zainel coming in from the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety on October 15th here in Oklahoma City to provide a presentation on fortified roofing. We had a brief conversation about this at our September luncheon. We had some of the legislators in to talk about this issue, and I think people are still I think they're hungry for it. I think they want to learn about it. I think they want to understand what the challenges are, what the incentives are, and I think it's the future. I honestly do. Being you said it in Hale Alley here,
right?
I don't think we have a choice because things are going to change. We cannot continue doing things the same way we've been doing them forever because it's just not feasible. I think fortified fits into that conversation.
It ultimately is not going to be optional, and I think that the association and our industry, we have to take a leadership role in that, and in mainstreaming. Obviously the legislation was rolled out with grants for a certain income levels and a certain value and that kind of thing. We need to mainstream the concepts of fortified and building better, and we need to lead that. We need to lead it through consumer education. We need to lead it through educating members of our association and really raising the bar.
Well, and I think our industry and even outside the industry would be shocked to learn how few contractors are actually certified to install fortified roofing.
Absolutely.
It's minuscule versus the number of roofers here in Oklahoma.
Sure it
and
is.
That's what we want to change. That's a conversation we're going to have on October 15th. And if you're out there and you'd like to attend, you can go to our website, ORCA, O-R-C-A, group, GROUP.org. You can register right there online. If you're a member, it's complimentary.
And Avery's not just talking to roofers. He's talking to all the citizens out there. Rick, you're welcome to come and join us. It would be a great experience for you to share in. Come and get educated and learn a little bit to be able to build better. And Avery, we're going to have to go to a break, man, so I'm going to have to thank you for your time and turn you back to your tailgate party. We sure appreciate you being here. Man, we love it. We love it. We'll do it again, okay?
Anytime. You call me anytime. Have a great day.
Thank you, man.
Enjoy your weekend.
And with that, we'll take our second break. We'll be back with Act 3 after this short break. Benny, I know you've been hanging on the phone for 15, 16 minutes. Hang with us a couple more, and then we'll get to you on the other side. You're listening to McRoof Talks Insurance on KOKC, AM 1520, FM 95.3. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. We will be back in a flash.
Talk Radio's new generation is KOKC.
I'm Scott McCollum, and I am McRoof. McRoof and CertainTeed are the team you need on your roof. CertainTeed's impact-resistant lineup is unbeatable. Northgate Climate Flex, Presidential Shake, or the slate look of Belmont IR, or the King of Shingles, Grand Manor. Call Carly today at 855-766-3405 or go to McRoof.us. McRoof.us, where every replacement is a replacement done right.
Honoring America's Warriors is an Oklahoma-based 501c3 nonprofit that is committed to honoring our heroes and healing our warriors. Honoring America's Warriors provides teams of disabled combat veterans in service dress uniform to augment military honors for our brave that have served our country. Honoring America's Warriors also provides outdoor activities to get our returning veterans peer-to-peer with other veterans in a non-medical environment. To learn more or to donate, go to honoringamericaswarriors.org today.
Hey guys, it's Scott here for Energy Q. I know that AC's probably been struggling the last couple days. Maybe that's going to stop here over the next couple of days. This is the time of year we love to get in your attic and install Energy Q. So give us a call. Call Carly at 405-877-7663 and request an estimate on our Energy Q radiant barrier install in your home. Our blanket's 5 layers thick with a double foil facing with the thermal break built into the blanket that allows us to install it directly on your rooftop during a re-roof, or we can install it as a drape from your rafters in your attic or lay it across your attic floor, however you prefer us to do it. Energy Q will block 98% of the thermal energy from entering, thus increasing your comfort and reducing your energy bills. Call Carly today. I'll send one of my solution specialists out to perform your inspection and prepare your estimate. The number again, 405-877-7663. McRoof and Energy Q, a cool solution for your home or business.
This is the home of Talk Radio's new generation, KOKC.
McRoof Talks Insurance back on the air for Act 3 of today's show. We are live in studio in the glorious Tyler Media Studio D. On this date in 1893, a gentleman named Frank Duryea drove the first American-made gas-propelled automobile. And then 2 years later, on this date, the first automotive producer, the Duryea Motor Wagon Company, was founded by Frank Duryea and his brother Charles. How about that? Then, on this date in 1974, Jimi Hendrix changed the spelling of his name from the typical Jimmy to J-I-M-I. Now, that's pretty darn obscure trivia.
Yes, it is.
Now, I will tell you.
Wouldn't expect any less.
Serious hallucinogens go on. Isn't that what I said?
I got to tell you that I chose this particular cut. This is a recording of a live performance at the 1970 Atlanta Pop Festival.
Oh.
And guess who was standing this close to Jimi Hendrix?
You.
Me.
Yeah.
I could smell the sweat on him. I was so close. I was 17 years old. I was fearless.
I bet you were just
and
excited.
I made my way up to the very front of the stage, and I was there all night long. He played about 3 or 4 in the morning. I mean,
gosh.
He played the Star Spangled Banner at sunrise.
Oh my God.
It was incredible.
Hey, I got to ask you a question.
All right, that's enough. Thank you.
What's with these national days? You haven't said a word about any of these.
That's just radio fodder in case we run out of things to talk about.
There was one on here that I thought was pretty good. National Eat a Hoagie Day.
Eat a Hoagie Day.
I liked that one.
And National Chai Day, so you can drink a chai tea. We need to go to Benny. He has been so patient.
Oh my gosh!
I hope he's still there. Benny, are you still there?
Yes, I am, Joe.
Thank you for waiting. 21 minutes you've been waiting.
21 minutes. He needs to get
a record. Is that a record?
Yeah, I think it is. Ding, 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 ding. Okay.
Well, kudos to Randall. I try to wait before trying to answer a trivia question.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Hey, I've got both a question, a small gripe, and a couple of pointers I just learned yesterday I think our listeners will find valuable.
Well, I want to hear the gripe
even
first.
Though they have nothing to do with roofing.
I want to hear the gripe first.
Let's hear the bad first.
Okay. Here. Where are my theater tickets that I was supposed to get?
Oh.
I've never received them.
Well, we'll sure take care of that.
Yeah,
I know the proper mailing address.
No, we don't know. We don't know where you live. We don't know how to find you.
I gave them that information.
All right.
Okay.
We'll take care of that.
Right,
so
we'll
go
send
ahead.
our favorite carrier pigeon this time.
Okay. What's next?
Okay. This same number is used for another radio program during the week, and you can text their program to the same number. Do you guys have that capability?
I have no idea.
Not that any of us know of.
No, our phone number doesn't take texts.
I know it does
Hey,
during
Benny.
their other programming
Is it?
during the week.
Hey, Benny, is it the show in the afternoon from like 4 to 6?
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, they have it set up in here. They have yet to show me how to operate it. Sorry.
Well, it was just a curiosity because I was going to text my pointers if need be. Having Mr. Smith on was quite enlightening, and I would like to learn more about that event to come and learn more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll so I'll get Rick to send me the tickets. I will put a flyer on the event and the tickets. We'll get those to you, and then I've got a list of people that I need to sign up for that event that I'll take care of. I'll just sign you up, and if you don't come, it's not a big deal. But I'll sign you up for it. But we'll get you all
I don't know what will happen, but I sure like to.
Absolutely, we'll get you all the details. Okay, we'll take care of that. All right.
Now, 2 pointers.
Yep.
And I didn't catch the beginning of this one, but it was on the show we were just talking about yesterday, and it was from the fair. Our county clerk, Marissa Treat, had some information that I think our listeners will find valuable and vital.
Well, let's hear it,
Okay.
Benny.
Okay, you know about the property theft thing with people doing stuff to get your property.
They're scammers going in and like trying to sell your house out from underneath you and stuff like that.
Yep.
They have a service. If you go sign up with the county clerk's office, now I don't have a computer, I'll have to figure out a different method, but they will send you alerts if somebody's messing with your property.
That's right. It's a great service.
You can forego the huge expense of recovery.
Okay.
That's one.
So people now, is that they go online to sign up for that service, or they can call and sign up for it, or how?
I think you go online to the county clerk's website.
Got you. All right.
I didn't catch the very front end of that one, but I believe it. So they were signing people up with the booth they had at the fair, apparently.
I got you.
Because that's where she was talking from. And the second one, and all you veterans out there and your families, If you have your original DD-214 honorable discharge certificate, you can take that down to the county clerk's office, and they will make a permanent digital file of it that will be in the archives for as long as we have archives.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I
Nice
find
information,
that
Benny.
interesting because those documents do deteriorate over time.
Yep.
So that's all I had to add. And by the way, just a third point. This is for the McCollum's event in November.
Yep.
I plan on coming, and maybe I'll have a guest.
Okay. Well,
next month.
we figured, and we're getting ready to talk about that. That was a good segue. You're a good guy.
Thank you, Benny.
People know that by now, Benny.
Have a great day.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Benny. Before we talk about that,
sure.
we need to go to Deanne. She's been holding now for over 5 minutes. Hello, Deanne.
Hey,
Thanks
Deanne.
for calling.
Hi, guys. You're welcome. I love your show. I
Thank
do not
you.
miss it if I can help it. Yeah. I really, really love the job that you did on my roof. I have a secondary problem. I don't know if you will know anybody on
Okay.
it, though, and it's for siding. Do you know a cider?
Oh,
or
yeah.
is it, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Shall I? If you'd rather not give on the air, I will email you.
Yeah, just shoot me an email or call Carly on Monday, and we'll
Okay.
steer you in the right direction, okay?
All righty. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Of course,
Deanne, we
Deanne.
appreciate you.
Thanks
Have a
for
great
calling.
day.
Enjoy your day.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. So Deanne was one of our longtime listeners and callers, and,
Yes.
and had all kinds of issues with her insurance and denials and everything else, and ultimately ended up having to change insurance companies, and hey, just kept your fingers crossed and the good Lord shone and rained down some hail, and and she got a new roof. So
Good,
we're
good,
just
good.
thankful it all worked out.
Okay,
So,
the
anyway.
McRoof Client Appreciation
Oh,
Event.
wow, man. I don't know if I can find my notes. Oh, there's my note right there. So this is going to be on November the 8th, and this is going to be food, fun, and family, but it's not just going to be the McRoof family. It's also going to be our good friends at our host, the Cheek Ranch in Yukon, Oklahoma.
I've been there. It's a great place.
Yeah, so
Cool.
so Scott Cheek and his family have graciously agreed to be
You mean
our
another
hosts out
Scott?
there.
Another Scott.
Another darn Scott. So November the 8th, we're going to start at 12 o'clock, and we're going to stay until the cows come home. Literally until the cows come home. Maybe that would be feeding time. I don't know.
The cows kind of hang around the fence out back.
So we're going to have a grilling contest. We're going to have Cheek Ranch beef. We're going to have brats and burgers and dogs for
Oh, boy.
Cheek Ranch beef. We're going to have a grilling contest and see who all of our guests decide is the best. We're going to have a cornhole tourney. We're going to have ranch tours, and we're going to have an auction for charity, and we'll have a raffle. So there's going to be a lot of good fun stuff going on. And the Oklahoma Insurance Department, our commissioner, Glenn Mulready, is going to be our keynote speaker.
All
And
right.
he is going to give a little talk to everyone in attendance and take some questions and answers. And we're thankful to Glenn for honoring us by agreeing to do this for us.
This is quite a do.
It's going to be cool. We are super excited about it.
Yeah, that's great. And the Cheek Ranch is really easy to get to.
It is.
Once you get the address.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go into it's West Wilshire, about 1.5 miles west of Kilpatrick Turnpike.
Yeah.
And you can't miss it. It's going to have big signage out front at the entrance gates. But we'll get you a physical address so everybody will know. But it's basically 1.5 miles west on West Wilshire from the Kilpatrick Turnpike.
Okay.
Okay.
We need to go up on the roof.
All right.
To get Scotty's view.
We were walking
And I need to mention here, that's Jim Croce singing there, and it was 51 years ago yesterday that he died in the plane crash after a concert.
And Scott Sr. was going to his concert at New Mexico State University that night.
Oh my goodness!
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
The history in this room right now.
There's a lot of history.
Okay. You get as old as Rick and I, there is a lot of history. All right, Scotty.
Okay, so this is the no-brainer. And now, are we talking about the adjuster or the
well,
or
there's
what?
two things. We'll get to what you just said in a moment. But this roof should have been a no-brainer. We typically refer to a no-brainer as being a roof that is in obvious need of replacement.
Right.
That a blind man would probably agree to replace.
Okay.
Honestly, there are a lot of characteristics like we talked about. We don't just rely on our sight, but also many tactile characteristics that help us determine if a roof is in fact damaged.
Yeah.
And I think that.
So what happened?
Well, what happened is there were two that fit into this category. I'll just give one because
we're running short of time.
It's an anecdote. This was one of Johnny's customers, and Johnny, this old gentleman, he had us out a couple of years ago. Dustin was the guy who did that inspection, our solution specialist. He advised the customer to hold off in making a claim because it was definitely not obvious, and at that point, not substantial enough damage to determine that a claim was needed. With that being said, he called us back out after 2 years or so. Johnny went out, assessed the roof, marked it all up, photographed it.
It's blitzed.
Did recommend filing a claim. The gentleman quickly proceeded to do that, had his carrier out. The adjuster walked the roof with Johnny, said, yeah, there's some damage. So he marked a couple more things over there, walked around the site and marked a few more things. Long story short, the roof's getting covered for about 2 squares of shingles, maybe a little bit of gutters, a little bit of gutter damage, a couple window screens, and one carport metal panel. So that's your no-brainer. A no-brainer doesn't really mean a no-brainer. So a no-brainer to us doesn't mean a no-brainer to the insurance company.
So then we have another no-brainer that 2 adjusters have been on, and both of them have ultimately the second adjuster came to the conclusion that they would pay for 2 of the 4 slopes. Okay.
Right.
And I went up, I said, okay, before we go through any of the hoops and everything we've got to go through on this, I want to see this with Johnny. So Johnny met me out there. He leaned his ladder where I told him to lean his ladder on a slope that had been denied, or on a valley on 2 slopes that had been denied. And just from the ladder, I had seen all I needed to see.
Right.
I mean, it literally was that obvious. So I got on the roof with Johnny. We marked the east slope, which had been denied. We marked the front slope that had been denied. This is an absolute no-brainer. Okay, but this insurance company has denied it once and partially sloped it once.
Wow.
Okay, so we're saying that the adjuster is the no-brainer.
Yes.
Okay.
Bless his heart.
And well, you know, we talk about this a lot. The level of expertise, the quality of the inspections, and the degree to which these people are trained to be able to understand what storm damage is and isn't. Okay, it's at the lowest level that I have ever seen it in the industry, and it is working against consumers.
So much so that we've determined we may need to bring on a full-time claim denial resolution specialist.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. So,
very quickly, let's try to get our storm tip in. There we go. After the storm.
No change here, folks. It is time to inspect that roof. Winter is coming. We're getting ready to have our first real cool spell, but winter is on its way. You need to make sure that your roof is ready to withstand the ice and the rain and the sleet and everything that could come at your roof this winter. So you need to call Carly, and you need to get an inspection. The inspection is the starting point for everything. If you need some repairs, we'll get you tuned up for wintertime. And if you need to file an insurance claim, hopefully we can get that done, get you through that process, and get a good watertight roof on your structure before wintertime. Call Carly at 405-877-7663.
S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.US, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 8000002, and the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing.
Very good.
Dad's wisdom.
An athlete will never criticize you for training. A millionaire will never criticize you for starting a new roof. A songwriter will never criticize you for trying to sing a song. It's always the people going nowhere who criticize everyone else.
Ain't that the truth? We will see you all next week. Thanks for being here for McRoof Talks Insurance.
Have a great week.
KOKC, Oklahoma City.
The Tyler Media Station, entertaining you since 1965.
95.3 FM and 1520 AM.